Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you please tell us your name, your age, your occupation, and your nationality?
Alright, my name is Darisber. I'm 31 years old. I'm an assistant coordinator and I'm from Venezuela.
Thank you so much. And Ms. Davis, do you consent on being recorded today for the interview?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Well, today we're going to talk about a subject that maybe many people heard about but don't know what it is. So we will talk about social justice, but before going any further, what do you think about social justice? What do you think it is?
It's based on the equality. It could be political, culture, educational.
Well, do you know any causes of social justice? Any example that can be qualified as injustice in our society?
Gender discrimination, immigration issues, and racism.
Yes, but let's stay on immigration. Why would you say that immigration is a problem in our society today?
Well, basically because we've been excluded every time that an immigrant comes to this country. Work-related, educational-related, rights-related. So we've been fighting to have the same rights as the other citizens here.
I understand. But we also heard about people being deported,
Yes.
and well, they are mothers and fathers being deported and leaving their child behind,
Yeah.
their children behind. So for you, what does it mean to left a child here in the country alone? Because we know a very famous actress, she was victim of that. She was left alone at 14, and she clearly said that nobody reached out to her to ask her if she was okay, not even foster care.
Yes.
So do you think it would be the same if, for example, a U.S. citizen had to stay, a U.S. citizen child has to be left alone because, for example, the mother or the father would go to jail? Do you think the situation will handle the exact same way as they handle the situation right now with the immigrants?
Definitely no. They have more rights than us, starting from there. But definitely no. I don't think that they're gonna be treated as equals. An immigrant child here, it's not gonna be treated as a citizen child ever. Even if the parents are deported, that child is gonna be completely alone in this country and helpless.
And what about the deportation, the method? What do you think of it? And also, we heard that there are many deportations being done right now. What do you think can be the cause of that? Do you think it's a normal process? Do you think that everything is expected for an immigrant to be deported today?
Well, it's been really stressful for all of us as an immigrant, because they basically snatching people from their homes, which is something that they don't do here with criminals, for example. So we come to this country to work, to have a better life, and we are separate from our family members because they want to discriminate us. And there's a lot of people being deported even without having hearing from a judge. And it's like, I believe it's like 83% of the deported immigrants that they've been deported without giving them the chance to be heard by a judge.
Yes.
And have like go through all the regular process. So obviously it's not equal.
It is not. Well, as far as immigration as well, what would you think about the fact that in the Gilded Age, people used to come here in the US without a job, and they were actually looking for a job? And then when they came here, they were mistreated. They had jobs where they couldn't even work because it was bad working conditions, bad living conditions. They were in tenement where normally they couldn't even, there was just one room for this person for the whole family. But now, if we talk about immigration, do you think there's any evolution even for work related? Do you think that now there's any discrimination in work when you are an immigrant? And also, did that by any chance happen to you?
Definitely, I wouldn't call it as an evolution at all. It's getting worse. If we go and we try to get a job, they're gonna discriminate us even because of an accent. Because you have an accent, so they don't like it, and they're not gonna give you the job. It doesn't matter if you are capable of doing the actual job. They don't care about it. They don't care if you're prepared for the job. If they don't like the way you speak, they're not gonna give it to you. And that was one of my first experience here looking for a job. So it is definitely a big institution, and it's getting worse with the years.
That is what I also heard. Because here's one thing that was said lately, and we heard in the medias that the president told someone to go back where she came from. How do you feel about that? Do you even think that this is something that someone should tell someone else who's coming here, as you said, to have a better life? How do you feel about that particular sentence?
Definitely, it's sad. It's a sad situation, and to me, that's very disrespectful. Because it doesn't matter where you coming from. What it matters is what you're doing at the moment. So if you're doing good, if you're a good person, if you're working, why will you be mistreated like that? Just because you're not coming from the same culture that the other person. It's just, to me, it's just sad and disrespectful. So.
I understand. It is definitely understandable. Well, we talked about the Gilded Age. We said that there was no evolution, but when it comes to civil rights, do you think that we should have, as immigrants, I'm gonna say we, being an immigrant myself, do you think that we should have more rights, or do you think that there's enough rights but they are just not respected?
I think it's a little bit of both, because the little rights that we may have, they're not respected at all. So starting from that, from people getting snatched from their homes and getting deported without giving them a hearing from a judge. And so the rights, some of the rights are there, but they're not respecting them. So even if I put it like this, even if we get more rights, personally, I don't believe they're gonna be respected.
Well said. Well said. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Davis, for your time, and thank you for the research that you made, and most of all, thank you for saying yes when you were asked for this interview. It really means a lot.